Welcome to the Women on Fire podcast. We're on a mission to help you have your best menopause and rest of your life. I'm your host, Jenna Moore. I'm an integrative health menopause coach, and I've studied nutritional awareness, women's hormones through a functional medicine lens, and explored various modalities, including breathwork, mindset, and positive psychology. Join me and my guests as we discuss how to navigate the natural life transition of menopause and growing older, from waistlines, waning libidos, and what to wear now we're over 40. We discuss it all. Women on Fire is sponsored by MenoMe, a New Zealand-based company by women for women. MenoMe specialises in evidence-based, all-natural supplements to support you through every stage of menopause. We are having a bit of a relationship thing this month, so I'd love to talk to you about the book, The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts by Dr. Chapman PhD. Have you read it? You might have, or you've certainly probably heard of it. Because sometimes if we struggle in perimenopause and menopause, our relationships can come under strain, and it can be really good to have some aids in our relationship toolkit, but like it's good to have aids in our menopause toolkit. So the concept of the 5 love languages provides a framework for understanding how people express and experience love. It works on the premise that recognizing and understanding these love languages can enhance relationships by fostering better communication and deeper connections. So the 5 love languages draw on Gary Chapman's expertise and experience as a family counselor, and it's just become one of those iconic books. He wrote it in the 90s, and it's been a consistent New York Times bestseller, and it sold millions of copies. I'm not sure how many. I read 5 million on one note and 40 million on another, but suffice to say, a lot. And not everyone agrees with the concept, but others swear by it for helping to make their relationship rock. And it must be doing something right to have that sort of success, mustn't it? It's just got to. I mentioned it to a friend actually the other day when we were talking about her relationship, and she said it wasn't for her. And on the other hand, I have other friends who have it up there as a beacon of light in their relationship, and they attribute following some of the guidelines to the success of their long-term relationship. So I think wherever you're sitting, whether you've been in a loving relationship for a very long time, if it's quite rocky and you want to inject quite a new life into it, if it's a new relationship, if you're single, if you're dating, or even if you're somewhere in the middle, it really can't hurt to take a look at it. Sometimes the simple things can make a huge difference. I think it's really great that it can be used for families and children and teenagers and friends as well, because I don't know about you, but sometimes my relationships certainly need some support. So, in a nutshell, the 5 love languages depict 5 different ways that we give and or receive love in our relationships, and there are 5 banners. Number 1, words of affirmation. Number 2, quality time. Number 3, receiving gifts. Number 4, acts of service. And number 5, physical touch. So it's based on the theory that not everyone gives or likes to receive love in the same way. So let's take a closer look at them, just a snapshot. So number 1, words of affirmation. Words are powerful, aren't they? I love words. And this love languages uses them to convey affection, including frequent I love yous, compliments such as you look great today, I appreciate everything that you do, that's wonderful, or encouragement like you've got this, babe. You know, you get the drift. It's really positive and uplifting, and just talking to you about it now makes me feel that way, brings a smile to the dial. So I hope listening to that makes you feel that way too. Just makes you feel good. Number 2, quality time. So this one is all about spending or wanting to spend time with your special person. You feel loved and cherished when your partner chooses to spend time with you rather than doing other things. Um, and listening to what you have to say, giving you undivided attention, not having one eye on the phone or the TV or the laptop, as can be so common these days. This could look like a focused date night, sharing deep and meaningful conversations, or even just going for a walk together. That's nice, right? Number 3 is acts of service. So actions speak louder than words for you. Acts of service is defined as helping with chores, doing things to ease their or your burden, or going out of your way to make life easier. It's kind of nice, don't you think? Even simple things like doing the cleaning, putting the garbage out, cooking dinner, bringing you food when you're busy at work, or making you breakfast in bed are amazing. They just feel so good, right? I'm remembering one of my earlier relationships. I wish I'd recognized that was his love language. Number 4 is receiving gifts. And I really thought this was definitely my primary love language, giving and receiving, especially on special occasions. For me, I hope it's something that someone will treasure if when I'm giving, and as a receiver, the time and thoughtfulness that goes into the gesture just really touches my heart. It's not so much about the stuff, but rather what it signifies, whether that's a flower picked from the garden or a brand new Maserati. It's the intention behind it. The Maserati would be kind of cool. However, it turns out after doing the quiz, which I'm going to link you to, the love languages quiz, my primary love language is words of affirmation. And I'm going to tell you what the most common love language is, or most popular. Number 5 is physical touch, and it probably goes without saying that this is all about touch. Things like hugs, kisses, holding hands, cuddles on the couch, and sex. When physical attraction is a big part of your relationship, it can make you feel grounded, secure, and as if you're basking in comfort and warmth, or wrapped in a cuddly blanket. And in the peri and postmenopause world, we really can't discount the importance of social connection that's been identified, and also the oxytocin hormone, which is also known as the love hormone, and it's triggered with physical touch. And it can be very calming for anxiety and help with sleep. So there's a bit more about oxytocin in an article I wrote about how having girlfriends are good for us. So I'll link to that for you in the show notes and the resources. And if all this is new to you, or even if you just want to do it for fun and see if you've changed, you can do the love language quiz, which I'll also link in the resources for you. Um, but it makes you think, doesn't it? Well, for me, it does. And you can have more than one love language, though Gary Chapman says that we usually have a primary main love language, but that can also evolve over time. And it's probably important to have a conversation with your partner to ensure you're on the same page, because you might be totally into love languages and words of affirmation. You are your thing. You adore them. So you text your partner through the day and want to talk and share compliments constantly, which is lovely, but it might be annoying to someone else who doesn't get it. And your partner may, their primary love language may be physical touch. So they're all about kissing and cuddling and making love when you'd rather talk. So both of you end up feeling unloved without understanding why, which is, it makes sense, doesn't it? So Gary Chapman did analyze and did a study, which I'll also link to for you, on what the most common love languages and words of affirmation was a winner. More recently, the Hinge dating app, I think they did this in 2018, did a study on love languages, and quality time came out on tops. But apparently, words of information, affirmation and quality time do go neck and neck constantly. And I was surprised, but receiving gifts was the most uncommon love language from Gary Chapman's analysis. Amazing. Of course, relationships are a lot more complex and nuanced than this, and things can change. So, love languages certainly aren't the be all and end all, but perhaps they're something to consider adding to your repertoire. I mean, it really can't hurt, can it? It's very simple. Clinicians probably dive deeper and say that, I mean, I did read something about a clinician saying that they felt that childhood wounds, etc., could all be part of how you um, your language in a relationship, and that can change if you grow up and deal with that. But yes, of course, there are nuances and complexities to it. But as a simple guideline, it just seems like a positive to me. So if you have done it, if you follow it, or if you're going to look further into it and take it up, I'd love to hear your feedback, like how you've gone or how you will go. So you could just leave that in the comments or DM me, would be great. And all the contact information is in the show notes or the resources. So I hope this left you with some little nugget, or maybe even just a reminder nudge, um, and that you've enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to this episode of Women on Fire. If you like what we share, please subscribe and give us a rating and or a review. In addition, visit our sponsor's YouTube channel at MenoMe 100, where you can subscribe and watch all of the interviews. That's the best way to support this podcast so we can continue to bring it to you. Thank you for your interest in midlife, menopause, and Women on Fire. Let's keep